Hey, what's up guys? This is Jericho Games at like, I don't know, midnight. Bit tired, gonna play some Minecraft and express some thoughts I have about the future of video games. Most specifically the FNAF franchise, because that is the niche that I'm in. Personally, I am not excited for new games anymore. That's kind of obvious from the title of this video. This is just me rambling. It's going to be unedited. I'm not planning on making this a thoughtful, well thought out video. I'm just rambling my thoughts on the top of my head. If you guys like the type of videos, I might make a new series, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, basically I just do not get excited for games anymore. I mean, I guess to start, I should say that I haven't really been excited for anything at the moment. It's not that I don't like consuming media, because I obviously do. I consume a lot of YouTube content, watch a lot of YouTube videos and all that sort of stuff, which may be part of the reason too, but like, I don't know, I don't watch movies. I'm very, very particular with movies. I don't watch TV series, so maybe I'm not the type of person to get excited for those type of things, but I feel like in most recent time, I've been disappointed by a lot that's coming out. And whether or not that's because I'm just getting old and I just don't get into those type of things anymore, you know, that might be the case. But I don't know, nowadays, compared to back in the old days, I don't get excited for new releases of anything, especially games. Like, you know, the last thing I can remember being actively excited for in terms of like media was like when the Marvel movies came out. Like when, you know, Infinity War dropped and, you know, Endgame dropped. Like that was really cool. I remember the hype around that was insane. It was like, wow, like I can't wait for this to drop, you know, why can't it drop now? And like, you know, there was the hype of, you know, you had to not get spoiled, which I think is the first big problem I have, especially with the FNAF franchise. And my thoughts on this really started getting like solidified with Puppy Playtime Chapter 4. The trailers for that dropped, and you know, that was cool, you know, like, okay, the trailer's dropped and it's whatever, like, you know, Yarnaby looks cool and the Doctor looks cool. And then we got that trailer like 5 days before the game release, the gameplay trailer with like Dowie and all that. And that's all my friends would talk about. And it was like, okay, that's cool. And I watched the trailer after my friends had all seen it, and I went, oh my god. You know, I don't know what I think. I didn't like the look of Dowie at all. And I was like, okay, interesting. And then it was kind of like, oh, okay, well, Dowie clearly is going to be the villain of the series because of X, Y, Z. And yeah, I was told this by like everyone. Everyone was telling me like, oh, he's going to be the villain clearly because of this and all that sort of stuff. And it's like, okay, well, you know, now I know it. So it's, you know, I don't really care anymore because, you know, now I know that that's the way it is. Okay, if you guys are right, then holy crap. If you're wrong, then whatever. You know, and then the game came out, and look, I'm sorry. I know if you guys liked the game, props to you. I thought the game was terrible. I thought it was an absolutely miserable experience from start to finish. Did not enjoy it at all. It felt like padding for runtime. It wasn't a game as much as it was just like, I don't know, watching a really boring movie. Like, it wasn't a game. And that's where my first bit of things came in. Games are not games anymore. Like, games are these elaborate stories that you can interact with to an extent. And look, that is okay. There are some games that are very movie-like, have lots of cutscenes, and they work wondrously. Like, they're really, really good. You know, I don't know anyone who thinks that The Last of Us is a bad game. Personally, not my cup of tea, but, you know, everyone each their own. I mean, personally, I prefer games that are more player, I guess, focused. Like I said, I like the gameplay of games way more than the story. And I get some people prefer the story of games. And, you know, that's totally fine. I've got no problems with, you know, I guess people feeling that way. Like, it makes sense. Some people don't like playing. That was very close to dying. Some people just like, you know, playing the games. Or they like just experiencing it. Like, they want to see what the cool story is. And that's totally fine. And I have a lot of respect if that's what you want to do. Personally, I much prefer a experience where I myself get to do stuff. And that's part of the reason why the FNAF franchise to me was kind of cool, because it has this really awesome and, you know, unique story, but it's very self-contained, and it's not a, I guess, shocking, it's not like a story that, like, it's not very story focused. Sister Location is my least favourite of all the FNAF games, and it's the most story focused. So I guess in retrospect, that puts into perspective what kind of a player I am. And, you know, that may make this video biased or whatever. If you want to call it that, feel free. I really don't care. But that's where my thoughts kind of stemmed from. It's like, okay, well, I wasn't very excited before I played Puppy Playtime Chapter 4 because it was, you know, the experience was spoiled because it was, say, story focused, not gameplay focused. But then came, like, beforehand, there was every single person talking about, you know, how excited they are for the game, and they all crafting their theories, and you can't go onto YouTube without seeing 20 million different videos of it being like, we're gonna solve the law of the game. And even when the game came out, like, I didn't play the game the absolute second it came out. I woke up and I saw all my friends were playing it, and I saw all my friends were talking about it, and, you know, that's totally fine, I understand that, but it just made me not really excited, because it's like, well, I know what to expect, and it doesn't sound like it's for me. I ended up playing it later. My friends kind of, you know, gifted me a copy, and I played it, and I did not like it. I was thoroughly disappointed in the experience, and I personally am not excited for Chapter 5 as everyone else is. I honestly don't really care. I guess my views as a content creator come into the perspective where it's like, am I not excited for games anymore because as a content creator, I am expected to do XYZ with the games, like stream the games and play them and stuff, which I think that definitely has a factor as well. That's definitely affected my ability to, I guess, get excited to play games, because I'm not really excited. That's why I started over being a gameplay YouTuber for a while. I guess why, like, I play the games rather than talk about them, because I like to separate YouTube from my playing experience. Obviously right now I'm playing Minecraft, but, you know, this isn't like a normal video. This is just me spreading my thoughts. I couldn't upload just normal gameplay content. I found out that sucks the joy out of playing these games. And, you know, streaming is probably a little bit different, and I think me kind of shamelessly plugging here, announcing that I'm going to be streaming on Twitch and playing these types of games on Twitch, so get excited for that if you're interested. You know, that'll be interesting. But I don't know if that will get me, like, excited for any new games. Anyway, back to what I'm talking about. Secret of the Mimic. That is the new FNAF game that's just come out. Like, the one that's just about to come out. It's, you know, there's all this hype around it. The trailer just dropped, everyone's excited about it, and there's already 10 million opinions on it, and I just, quite frankly, couldn't care less. Now, whether or not that's my fault, or whether or not that's the community's fault, that's up for debate, but I just personally don't get behind it anymore. It's, I don't know whether or not it's because of, like, you know, trying to find the right words here. Like I said, unedited, so crazy. You know, I don't know if I'm just, like, you know, looking at it from the wrong perspective. I just am finding that I'm seeing too much of the games, and I think that comes down to, like, even Puppy Playtime and stuff, where it's like, you know, there's a lot of these games now is not playing the game. It's a checklist of, did everything we predict happen? Like, that's what the games are becoming. It's no longer like, wow, I'm so excited to play this fresh original game I've never seen before, and then you play the game and go, wow, that's awesome, let's talk about it. It's now, let's talk about the game, play the game, and then never talk about the game again. That is where I feel like it's turning into. And I think because of that, I'm not excited. Because I don't like talking about games before they come out. I like talking about games when they come out. Because that's obviously when the game's interesting to talk about. Because you're playing the goddamn game. It makes sense. Like, you know, you don't play a game... Like, you don't talk... You know, I don't think talking about a game and then playing a game after... makes a lot of sense in my mind. I mean, maybe in someone else's mind it does, and I suppose maybe that's a bit harsh to say, like, oh, you know, like, the fact that people play the, like, you know, can talk about the, you can't talk about the game before you play it. That's obviously not what I'm saying. But it's interesting that, like, by the time the game comes out, it's like you're almost sick of talking about the game. It's like, oh, the game's out, whoop-de-doo, now people can finally shut up about it. And I think in terms of, like, the FNAF games, it's really becoming that, where... Personally, I think we're learning too much about the games. I think with movies it's the same. It's like with the Minecraft movie, which is... I don't know why I just have to play Minecraft. Like, the movie trailer came out ages ago, and it's so obvious that the movie is going to be garbage. So, it's like, well, okay, no one's excited for the movie, but everyone's talking about the movie. So when the movie finally comes out, it's not going to be... let's watch the movie and see if it's good or not. It's going to be, is there a checklist of everything that happened? Which is not the way I like to look into it. I think the best way to experience a game is to go in completely blind. And that's kind of where I'm wanting to go with my games now. I'm wanting to play games where I have never seen them before, never heard of them before, and no one's telling me about it, and I just play the game. And that can definitely be... I've definitely noticed that playing some different games in my life, having that experience has definitely helped me enjoy some games more than others. I mean, my favourite game of all time, Super Mario 64, I played again recently, after not playing it for ages, and I didn't think it was as good on my second playthrough as it was now. And granted, I've played a lot more games since then. It was my first ever true game, but that kind of made it cool because it was this super unique experience that, like, I'd never experienced before. I got to play through this game having no idea what I was doing, but now I've come back into the game with all this knowledge from watching videos on it, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, you know, that's cool, I guess. I can just speedruns to get past these. And, like, sometimes it's cool, but I don't know, and that might just be me being whatever. I personally just haven't been enjoying video games as much anymore. And I think part of the reason is because by the time I get to a game, it's, you know, it's more like, let's talk about the game experience, let's talk about the game's story and dissect everything. Let's dissect the eye color of the character in the trailer and, you know, let's dissect, you know, which I guess it's a huge thing. People do like that stuff and I respect it. I just personally don't. And I personally think it's ruining people's ability to get, like, really invested into... I'm sorry. I'm a bit sick of recording this video. That's why I'm coughing. But, I mean, take for instance, like, the New Puppy Playtime game. Like, everyone's talking about was talking about the game beforehand, and I made a video recently where I, like, ranked all the games, and Puppy Playtime 4 is my least favorite, 100%. It has all the problems with Chapter 3, but it doesn't have the charm of Chapter 3, in my opinion. So, for that instance, it went down a few levels. And I got a lot of comments, and the most common defense I got for Chapter 4 was, yeah, the gameplay sucks and the game's laggy, but the story's really good. Or, if I didn't understand a concept in the story, it was like, oh, it was discussed in theory videos, and people figured it out. It's like, I don't like games where the only way for you to understand every little thing, like, either, one, you have to understand the game for it to make sense, which is ridiculous if that's the way that you're going to play games, because, you know, like Minecraft, there's tons of different things in Minecraft that happen for reasons. Now, what's the lore reason behind it? Well, there are lore reasons behind it, and you can look them up, but you don't have to. but it's like a game's quality becomes good or bad. Game's good or bad if you know the extended story. If you do know the extended story, then the game's amazing. If you don't know the extended story, all of a sudden the game is absolutely terrible because, you know, you didn't play the game's extended story. So, what was the point? You know, you need to know every little micro detail about the lore of the game, or else you're not fully, you know. I believe in giving every single game a chance, but I don't believe in, like, giving the game every single possible chance before you come to a conclusion. If you play a game and you don't like the game within your first couple of minutes of playthrough, oh, Matilda, I've never seen this before, then, like, I think it makes sense. This is actually quite cute. What if I kill them? Ah, it's the feather. Anyway, that's cool. I just killed an armadillo on camera. Fantastic. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just not excited. I'm not really excited for Secret of the Mimic. I really don't care. Like, I get everyone is, and that's okay. This is just me sort of talking for like the 1% in the back that just like doesn't get excited. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on this in the comments below, actually. Like, that's something I definitely would be very curious to find out because, quite frankly, I'm curious what other people think on this topic. Like, are video games becoming, like, less exciting? Like, are we just not caring as much for these games anymore? Is it just like, well, like, you know, the game's coming out and it's gonna be exciting because everyone else is talking about it? Or is it, like, you know, a game's quality is going down because the idea of having a cool Easter egg is more important than having a good game? Is that becoming a factor too? Like, are games getting worse because of Easter eggs? Which is another topic I'd like to do in a future video. If you guys like this one and want to hear more, even if you guys don't like it, I might do it. It might be a good way for me to just like spew my thoughts and stuff. And I might do this on streams. But anyways, I'm gonna shut up and end the video here. But I will say I am going to be streaming on Twitch in the future. I will be streaming on Twitch every game that is not a Five Nights at Freddy's game or like a horror game. At least for the beginning, I'm going to start streaming on Twitch a bit more, just to try and get my name out in the platform a little bit. Different platform, see what happens. But anyways, I'm going to end the video here. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening to my rambling, and if you enjoyed, let me know in the comments. And check out the main channel. This is the second channel. I don't know what you're doing here if you've never seen. Go watch my main channel, please. Anyways, bye.